So as you can see here, we have a lot of loads lined up. These were all built here at Fort Polk for Joint Readiness Training Center. They're built from the ground up, and based on what we get in as a request, this will either be simulated ammunition or live commodities such as water and MREs. From this point here, after they're built, this will get transed up to our staging facility, and from there, once again, that's when you'll do your joint airdrop inspections. We will attach the parachutes, depending on what the load is, whether it's the high velocity like this, meaning it'll get a 26-foot parachute on it, or if it's a low velocity, it will get your G12 Echo. Once the parachutes are attached, once again, the JAIs will go ahead and do their job, and they'll start moving it from the staging area out onto the planes, where it will take off, and they'll bring it on down, drop it into the box for the guys to go ahead and recover. So they got everything they need out there. Looked like I was perfect the whole time. I'm okay with that.
This is how our loads are built, how our bundles are built. Once we get them up to our A-pod and we get these ready for inspection, what the JAIs are going to do, which is a joint airdrop inspection, you have the Air Force doing their inspections, and what they're going to do is go around the load, make sure that everything is correct. They're going to do all their checks on making sure the ties are correct, checking all the parachutes, making sure they're all attached to the load, as well as looking for the anti-oscillation ties and making sure there's no discrepancies with how the chute is attached to the anchor line cables inside the aircraft. Once they've done their check, we do our checks inside the aircraft. Also, before they leave, if we're done there, we hand them off to the Air Force and they conduct their drops.
Okay, so thanks for dropping by the airdrop facility, and I hope you learned a little bit of something today.
Hi, this is Sergeant Donahue here at Fort Polk in Louisiana. We're here in the rigger shed packing some T11 main parachutes. I was just over there checking his parachute, making sure that he stowed his stows properly, counting to make sure that there was at least 6 on each side and a maximum of 7. Making sure that his lines weren't tangled up. There's a lot of things that the IP makes sure that the packer is doing properly.
Rigger! Move!
Airborne school is mandatory for parachute riggers. We even go to airborne school before we go to AIT. That's to make sure that people can be airborne to be this MOS. You have to be airborne to be a parachute rigger, and if you can't pass airborne, why would they send you to the schoolhouse? There's no point in having someone pack your parachute that you wouldn't feel comfortable jumping with it themselves. So we pack parachutes because if we weren't out there jumping with them, why would they trust our parachutes? It's mandated that we pack and jump with our own chutes annually because it lets the jumpers know that, hey, we're packing our parachutes and we're willing to jump with them ourselves. We joint work with like the Air Force and the Navy. We'll make these big cargo bundles and we'll go up on the airplanes with them and inspect these bundles as they go out. We'll make sure that the chutes are attached properly and that all the mechanisms that we attach are working properly. So as parachute riggers, we get to go to schools like Military Free Fall, where Army Rangers, Special Forces, and select MOSs are allowed to go to because we're out there packing their parachutes with them, and really, if we're not out there jumping with them, why do they even trust us to pack it? You're probably wondering why I wear this red hat. So the red hat is the symbol of the parachute rigger. It's something that's the first thing you see when you look at us. It's bright red. It's basically a symbol of the inspector in the pack shed to make sure that that's the person who's in here inspecting the parachutes, and the same thing out on the drop zone. Anytime there's an issue out there or anything goes wrong, they know to look for the guy with the red hat.
Right there.
Go.